Good morning, everyone. We do hold you in our hearts this morning as we welcome you to Unity Spiritual Community in Citrus Heights. And we are going to begin our service this morning affirming that there is only one presence and one power active in our lives and in our ministry. And we see each of you as expressions of the divine, beautiful and unique and welcome here, just as you are. Could I get somebody to move forward, because I feel like I'm speaking to one row in the back. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. That's just great. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. It's like a musical chair, so you're getting the energy going here. Thank you. All right. I love it. Thank you so much. So seeing each of you as expressions of the divine, beautiful and unique, just as you are, and so willing to accommodate my needs here. So let us breathe into that truth, into our perfect wholeness. Let me get situated. All right, as we breathe into that truth, into our perfect wholeness this morning. You are perfect. You are whole. You are unique. You are so loved. And I'm Liam Lawson, and I'm one of Unity Spiritual Community's licensed Unity teachers. And I'm joined today by my son, Liam Lawson, in music today. Yay, Liam. And we want to give Liam a big congratulations because he just graduated from high school. Yay! And Reverend Carla is here with us today, and we're also grateful for that. Yeah. So now I'd like to invite our other licensed Unity teacher, Sylvia Wheeler, to come up and read today's daily word.
Okay. Today is Sunday, June 2nd, 2024, and the word for today is optimism. Optimism colors my world with love, our opening affirmation. My experience of the world depends on my attitude I bring to it. When I hold positive thoughts and share the love in my heart generously, the world becomes an inviting, friendly place. Optimism makes me a magnet for positive people, exciting opportunities, and serendipity of all kinds. It lifts my consciousness out of the mire of worry, anxiety, and fear, and keeps me focused on the beauty of the earth, the goodness of people, and the presence and power of God. When I perceive God in the kind acts, such as selfless impulses and loving service happening all around me, my optimism grows. I feel renewed and inspired as I focus on what is right and good in life. In my life. In gratitude for the world's wonders, I grow in optimism. And from our scripture, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And that's from Romans chapter 12, verse 21. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. And we welcome each one of you who is here with us today at Sylvan Community Center or on Zoom or on YouTube Live, which we're now streaming to YouTube. And we know that each one of you is here by divine appointment. And we do thank you for adding to the joy of our Sunday service this morning. Now, if it's your first time with us here today, which I don't believe it is, we do have welcome packets, and make sure to sign up for our newsletter in the lobby, and we'll put you on the list. So, but today, before we greet each other, today is birthday Sunday because it's the first Sunday of the month. So do we have any June birthdays here? Would you please rise if we've got anyone? Jim, yay! All right. And please share your name and your date of birth.
Jim Foley, June 3rd.
June 3rd, tomorrow. All right. Okay, let us sing happy birthday to you, Jim. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jim. Yeah. We will have cake, yes, after the service. So we're going to take a moment to greet each other. And I'm just remembering that many of us like to give hugs. But we want to remember that some days or some people, we just don't want to have a hug today. So remember that we can greet each other with a namaste or a wave, or some people even like fist bumps. So let us rise and do that now. And when the music is your cue to go back to your seat. And shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine, go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. We couldn't go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Thank you, Liam. So we're going to have a little featurette, and I debated whether to teach you about some deep metaphysical term, but not this week. It'll be coming. Instead, I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journeys of the last week. I took a trip last week, and it was with my parents. My mom wanted to go down to visit my cousin, who lives at the tip of Nevada with her husband, Rusty. And, I knew that we might not have another opportunity. Long trips are getting harder for them, and this time I could help drive. So it's just me and my mom and my dad. But you know what? I would only do it if we went the scenic route, because I wasn't going to drive down 5 or 99. So let's see. Here's the tip of Nevada. So where we went was here, south of Searchlight, near Laughlin. So anybody been down there? Yeah. Okay. So here's the route we took from my house over in Ione, and we went over to spent the night in Colville last Sunday after service, and then drove down through Death Valley and over to where they live. So we chose to traverse the high mountains. We drove through. We went through Carson Pass and through the Sierra Nevadas, and then we drove down the east side of the Sierra Nevada mountains on Highway 395. Yeah, if you haven't done it, it's worth it. The mountains, there's a whole row of 14,000-foot mountains. And we wanted to see and experience Death Valley, which I discovered had many, many more things to see than I had ever imagined. It wasn't just a low, flat valley. And I also learned that if there's anything that can go wrong with your car, it will there. It was all okay for us, but now I believe I understand the valley of the shadow of death. So, and while we were visiting, Rusty took us to Laughlin on a dirt road over the mountains, through the desert. And he went through what was called Christmas Tree Pass. And you can't really see here, but apparently these are juniper trees. They have a lot of beautiful blue berries, but apparently people go through and they decorate the trees every year with different themes. And then, the rangers remove them. But this one, you can see if you're up close that it has little red and gold balls on these trees. That was the only one we saw for Christmas Tree Pass. So the junipers, and Michael calls this the cholla cactus. I didn't look that up, but isn't that beautiful? Beautiful flowers. And we got to see the sacred mountain of earlier people. And it was a slow, longer trip and bumpy, but it was the only way to see the desert up close. So that's that. Okay. And so then after that, we went to Hoover Dam. And what a marvel of human creation. We got to go inside and explore. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, no water going over it now. We got to explore the ventilation tunnels. There's my dad looking out. So I found, and I think that's looking down into the dam. There we go. So I found this trip a metaphor for life. And because it's only by traversing the high mountain passes and by going into deep valleys and through the high deserts and exploring the dammed up places that we get to experience the contrasts of life that give it the greatest beauty. And thus ends the featurette. And let us sing another song. Would you please rise with me? be seated. And now we draw our attention to the prayer requests that have been left. In the box of the lobby, there's a blue box where you may leave your individual prayer requests. You can also email us at info@Unity Citrus Heights. We'll give you a call for your personal prayers. And we're also, Sylvia is our prayer chaplain here today. You can pray with her after service for your personal prayers. And so we bless those who have made prayer requests. We do see them as the Christ expressing. We see them with optimism, embracing them right where they are today, as perfect whole beings in their perfect place of spiritual growth, seeing alignment in their bodies, in our situations, in the world around us, anything for ourselves. We just see that all coming together in alignment with God and God's light and love, with all that you need, the source of all life, all strength, all healing, and all supply. We breathe into this truth, knowing each person is guided step by step into a greater awareness of God's presence. And we pray this in the name of the living Christ. Amen. So we're going to prepare for a time of meditation now. Oh, Spirit, guide me deep inside me. Take me to my heart place, a place of ease and grace. Breathe in this moment, this sacred moment. I am peace. I am renewed. And as you relax deeply into your seat, I invite you to breathe in and let peace enter your body. And breathe out, releasing all tension. Any anxiety you may hold, leaving you as you settle into this moment. And let your feet sink into the floor, your back relaxing, and your belly softening. And all the muscles of your face and throat and scalp soften. Your shoulders release their burdens and you rest. There is nothing you need to be, nowhere you need to go in this moment. You are gently cradled in the support of the universe. All the animals of the earth, of the sea, and of the sky are aware of your being. And others, beings of the earth and the universe, the plants, the trees, beings of light support you with that magical substance that's both and neither a wave or a particle, that glorious substance we know as light infuses you, lifts your being. Even the rocks and the air vibrate with the energy that surrounds you, a cloud of light and color. Let go. You are here. You are. I am. Let's open our hands now and feel all those around us doing the same. Each magical being present now, melding our energy in this moment of creation, our hearts and minds joined as we spend some time in the silence. We return to the present moment, carrying with us the deep knowledge of our oneness. And so it is. Amen. In my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my life, I have been searching for something, but you are my dream. You're perfect, you're golden, your light, your love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. When I breathe, when I swallow, caress, I feel. When I listen, I hear the most beautiful music out of nowhere. You're perfect, you're golden, your light, your love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. Lady-dee-dee-dee, lady-dee-dee-dee, lady-dee-dee-dee. Lady-dee-dee-dee, lady-dee-dee-dee, lady-dee-dee-dee. When I'm sad and dark, shallow and in doubt, when I'm trying my best put one foot in front of the other. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection in you as me. Oh, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, 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 dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You're always there, you never leave, you're holding me, you set me free, your guiding light, your empathy, your confidence to express and ask me. You're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing that I'm perfect. I'm golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love for forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection in you as me. Oh, sing with me. Lee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, lee-dee-dee-dee-dee, lee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Join me. Lee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, lee-dee-dee-dee-dee, lee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You're perfect, golden light, my love. You're perfect, golden light, my love. You're perfect, golden light, my love. So great to have Liam here with me today. He's just the guitar makes such a difference, so thank you, Liam. All right. So in your family, do you have roles? You know, roles that you play? Well, sometimes they're chore roles, right? Like one person does the dishes, or another person cleans the bathroom. Well, lately it seems like I've been taking on the weed eating of our 5 acres, especially now that we have a nice big battery-powered weed eater. And, you know, I'm fine with that. It's not too hard. I do it until the battery runs out, and that's it for the day. So, but somehow when the string runs out, I always think that Michael's the person to go to, yeah, and that he would know how to change it. And he does always know where the string is so that we can change it. So I'm embarrassed to say that we repeated the same mistake a couple of years in a row, because, you know, you forget. In California, you only have to weed eat in the spring because it all dries out. So I was chopping this long piece of grass and the string ran out. And so, of course, I asked Michael to help me. And we took off the spool to change it. And it was harder than it seemed like it should have been. And I had this vague memory of doing the same thing last year. So we got it off. and we threaded the string on, and we tried to put it back together, but it was just about impossible. So, well, Michael gave up. And I went to YouTube, and then, well, you know, I did end up pulling in Liam because he's our magic fixer person. But you know what I found out? I found out that you're not supposed to take the spool apart. All you have to do is put the string through and wind. So it took me about an hour, you know, another hour with Liam's help finally, to get the thing back together. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And of course, I couldn't help but see this as a unity analogy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because how many times do we see ourselves in our lives as broken? When maybe there's just one little thing that needs to be done, like my weed eater. Yeah. You're not broken, just do the thing. Unity teaches wholeness. You are whole and complete just as you are. God is all good, and God is everywhere present. That's unity's first principle, right? And you are a part of God, unity's second principle, so you are whole. You're whole. So we're all part of God. So what does this mean? This means that we're all connected, that we're all one. Yeah. So did you ever think that you might be perfect? What if who you are with all of your challenges, whether of health or personality or situation or whatever they are, what if it is actually perfect? What if we trusted the wisdom of the divine expressing in us, as us, knowing that your seeming weaknesses are serving yourself and others in the perfect way? I'm going to change off of that one. There we go. Okay. So the game of Dungeons and Dragons is a great analogy. Who here has played Dungeons and Dragons? Liam, okay. Who remembers Dungeons and Dragons and other people playing it, right? Okay. All right. So in Dungeons and Dragons, I think I played it once with my cousins or twice, and it's very involved, and people get together many times with their friends. In Dungeons and Dragons, you create your own character, and you choose your race, and by race I mean human, elf, dwarf, hobbit, orc, or halfling. And you choose your type of character: magic user, thief, assassin, druid, cleric, fighter, etc. And then you roll the dice to determine your abilities. And the abilities you roll for are strength, intelligence, wisdom, not the same as intelligence, huh? Dexterity, charisma, and constitution. Wow. And then it gets more complicated, but you get the idea. Those are the main things. So this sounds a bit like life, doesn't it? You could probably put numbers on those particular characteristics for yourself. So as you play the game, Dungeons and Dragons, your abilities are useful to varying degrees at the appropriate time as you make your way through the dungeon. And you have to work with your companions on each adventure. Every time you meet to play the game, you work your way through the dungeon, and your goal is to gain experience points and to move up in levels. Yeah. And so it's the creativity of the characters, of how they use their unique abilities as they play together and as they respond to situations in the game, that actually makes the game fun and exciting. That sounds a lot like life. Yeah, if we approach it that way. Sometimes it's what seems to be our challenges or weaknesses that stimulate great creation in life. How much did Beethoven's complete loss of hearing cause him to imagine music that profoundly affected us, even us, centuries later? Or what about Stephen Hawking? I bet you didn't know that in 1963, Stephen Hawking was given only 2 years to live. Yeah. And he went on to live more than 50 years, during which time he lost almost all the physical use of his body. And yet he made major contributions in the fields of physics and astronomy, especially in the understanding of black holes. And he had a family. So for some of us, being less physically able may lead to inspirational writing. And for others, being unable to sit still may lead to climbing a mountaintop, or etc. When we release our self-judgment, we're better able to align with the divine, and we can make our choices in life in confidence and in love. Sometimes what we see as our brokenness leads us to a wall. Seems like a wall, but it's actually a gate. And what if there's just one little thing that's the next step, like removing a small chain off the latch? You are whole and complete. So what's your one little thing? The thing that in your humanness, since you're human as well as divine, you might be afraid to do. Maybe these. My heart tells me to have an honest conversation with my sister, telling her how I really feel. Or my intuition tells me to stop that habit that could be detrimental to my health. Or my body is telling me to get out and move. Or I long to quit my job and take the risk to move on to my dream. Or even just to be still for a while. So sometimes instead of doing that one thing, we believe the story that we're broken or that life is hard. And you're not broken. And life can be hard. But life is also glorious and free, and it has infinite potential. And you, one with God and each other, have infinite supply. You have all that you need to do and be everything that you desire, everything that you may imagine, everything that you are meant to be. What if everything is perfect? There's only one power. That power is all good, and we call it God. And you are one with that power. You are all good. So we can release our self-judgment. Let's use that power of judgment. It's one of our powers. Discernment to make right choices, not to judge ourselves or other people or even our lives. Jesus said this. He was speaking as the Christ. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. So let's look at this metaphysically. The thieves are those ideas that come into your consciousness that steal away your vitality, those ideas of brokenness. But in your I am consciousness, you have the creative power of life to use as you will. And what an exciting life we may create. So music, We're going to switch gears here for a second. Music is the expression of life in sound. Yeah. Life is vibrations, and sound happens to be those frequency of vibrations that we can sense with our hearing. So I'm going to go to the keyboard. So in music, there's harmony and there's dissonance. And harmony is when the notes go well together. Say like, those are called C's. And the reason why they are called the same note is because they're different frequencies that are multiples of each other. Each C is twice as fast a frequency as the one before. Okay, so it's I can speak closer. So certain frequencies like this, that's called a major chord. Those frequencies are ratios that match better with each other, so we like them. It has a meaning to us. Or that, it's darker, but it's still their frequencies match in a pleasing ratio. And dissonance is when the notes clash. Like that, or even that. But the wonderful thing about dissonance is that it resolves into harmony. Oops. I didn't practice that enough. I didn't plan it enough, but let's do that. There's a dissonance, right? That's part of what we call a 5/7 chord. Hear that? So that's a dissonance, or this especially, that's called a tritone. They called it the devil's interval. It resolves into this. Yeah, right, okay. So it takes dissonance for us to realize the beauty and the relief of the harmony. If we just stayed in that harmony all the time, it would probably be pretty boring. So when the dissonance resolves into a harmony, we call this a resolution. And there's actually a wonderful thing that happens often at the end of a section of a piece, or in Wagner throughout an entire opera. We have all kinds of suspensions when we have these frequencies that want to resolve, and they just stay in this tension, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on for 4 hours in Wagner. And then it resolves. We call that a resolution. So I love music analogies. How about a symphony orchestra? So a symphony orchestra is usually 80 plus people making music together all at the same moment. And they're on different instruments. So these speaking of instruments, the bassoon is really hard to play, and it's a big wooden one that's like a big oboe or clarinet. It's big, really big. It sounds kind of like a duck. But it has this really beautiful, unique sound that you hear coming out. And what about the double bass? The double bass, you can't really hear it on its own. Like if it has a solo, it's like, really super low and lumbers around. But it's the foundation of the orchestra. And then the violins, they can be a little neurotic sounding. But when they're supported by the rest of the orchestra, they're very exciting and lovely. So each instrument has its own characteristic voice, but it's not just the voices just playing together that makes music. It's the choice and the motion that's happening in the music of these frequencies together, or sounding together, building tension and resolving, that creates great music. Harmony is when we're in alignment with God, with each other, in our oneness, but we're continuously growing Do you remember 2 weeks ago, Lori's butterfly pushing out of its cocoon? Yeah. So the butterfly, you couldn't help it out. It needed the effort of it to get the water out of its wings so it could fly. And there also has to be tension for us to reach for our next incarnation of spiritual growth. And we can see this dissonance in our conflicts with each other, or we find it in our own lives as divine discontent. Does anybody know what that means? Well, I bet you know it from experience, if nothing else. Yeah, it's when you're unhappy, but you can't always put a finger on why. You have a vague knowledge that there's something that's not right, but you just don't know the reason. And it pushes you to move out of your comfort zone and into something different. Like Amy in your job, right? Yeah. So here's a verse from the book of James in Christian scripture. Whenever you face various trials, consider it all joy, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. Yeah. And let endurance complete its work, so that you may be complete and whole, lacking in nothing. So complete and whole, that's you right now, just as you are. So what if with every breath we say, I love you? Can we be comfortable in that space? Here is someone who was. I'll close with a poem by the 14th century Persian poet Hafiz. It's called Each Soul Completes Me. My beloved said, my name is not complete without yours. I thought, how could a human's worth ever be such? And God, knowing all our thoughts, and all our thoughts are innocent steps on the path, then addressed my heart. God revealed a sublime truth to the world when he sang, I am made whole by your life. Each soul completes me. And so it is. Thank you. And you're welcome to sing with us on this one. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. All right, and we're going to have an offering now. Could you grab the bags? Thank you. So as we prepare for our offering, I just would like to remind you that we are going to pass the bag through each person. Whether you give today or you give online, we know that each of you are bringing something to this Sunday service, and we want to bless all that we give. So I just ask that you would take that bag and just bless it. Put your hand over it, bless it as it passes by. So as we prepare for this offering, we breathe into gratitude for the good that our gifts bring us. They circulate through our world and through our loving community. We see abundance flowing to and as and through each one of you. We are so grateful for all that you give and all that you are. So in this great circle of life, our hearts open, we give generously and joyfully, knowing that our hearts are also open to receive all the gifts of the universe. And so knowing, we bless these offerings and all they provide, and we are going to say an affirmation together that's up on the screen. Together. I give thanks for my new vision of God as my infinite, constant, abundant source. And let us say that again. I give thanks for my new vision of God as my infinite, constant, abundant source. And so it is. So we're going to sing our Divine Love song. Let's see. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all I receive, and all that I am. Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I have, all that I give and receive. Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I have, all that I give and receive. All right. And we do have a few announcements. The first is that next week we'll be right back here at Sylvan Community Center, and Sylvia Wheeler is going to be our speaker. Her talk is entitled World Peace Begins With Us. And then on the 16th, I'll be back at Unity Village with Sylvia for the conference, and we're going to be having a Zoom service. Sky Nelson Isaacs will be our guest speaker and musician. He's always a treat. Our June calendar is up. Oh, it's not on the website yet. I need to enter that, but it did come out in the newsletter, and so look there. We do have a solstice, summer solstice gathering, And I believe the date of that is 20th of June, okay, which is a Thursday. So that'll be real exciting. Got some new things going on. And we will be having our usual potluck and prayer circle as we have been lately. Be sure to stay for your stay and chat. We'll have some group discussion about our topic of today's service and just gather together in community. So that's all the announcements. Please rise and join in singing our closing songs. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful week. We got a good thing